What is up, you guys? It's the Fallout What If here, and today I'm doing a what if. Basically, I'm just doing the what if, like I did previously. What if I was the Ghost Rider in MHA? I know you guys, in the beginning, I know it is kind of cringy due to the fact I'm doing it. It's actually a story, and I'm in the story. Not only that, hold on here. How should I say this? Yeah, this is my channel. It's the Fallout What If server. Not only that, let's see, I'm watching, The Click. Good YouTuber. Funny YouTuber, I like it. Fuck, I stubbed my toe. But anyway. So, not only that, a couple of days ago was my brother's birthday. For those who were there that time, thank you. Thank you very much. My brother, I told him that the people that are watching wished him happy birthday. So if you were there who wished him happy birthday, he said thank you. Thank you very much. And that's pretty much it. He's a shy kid, so that's numero uno right there. And then after that, how would I say this? I am going to do, I'm probably going to do up to 3 videos today, so that way you guys can have something to watch. Don't quote me on this, but I think up to 2 videos, maximum of 2, possibly 3. But anyway, let's begin. Give me a second here. Oh yeah, no, fudge, before I even go, I got my first person here. Her name is, whatever, him or her, whatever it is. Moxley hopped onto the server not too long ago. So, you know, pretty happy for that right there. A little bit awesomeness. Oh yeah, and one last thing. The ship I'm going to have is Reiko Yanagi, which, if you guys don't know, basically her quirk is Poltergeist. Which, it does somewhat make sense. It does make sense and all that stuff. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. How would I say this? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go to the story. Okay. So after the whole situation with you know, me getting accepted to UA, my dad's a little upset. Wanted me to take over the farm and all that stuff, but he knows that I wanted to be a hero, so. Yeah, there's not that much stopping him, especially when, you know, his power, how should I say it, and my powers, you know, so he wouldn't be able to force me or anything like that, and, yeah, so anyway, I get accepted. Not only that, I also, well, when I do go to UA and see everyone, you know, and everything, I'm a little, you know, happy. Now, when how do I meet Reiko or anything like that? Basically, we just met. So in this thing, I meet her when we're going to class. First of all, when I see her, it's like she does her, you know, her quirk stuff. I don't know how to explain Poltergeist, but I know what it is. It's like she can go through a portal, and sometimes she can also, you know, move things around her. That's my definition of what a poltergeist is. So if that's not it, comment down below, and, you know, so that way you can help me out. Anyway, so after that, you know, I talk to her, and then we go to class, and then I see that she's in class 2B, or class 1B, or 2B, or whatever B. But anyway, and after, you know, I talk to her and say, you know, I'll see you later, and all that good stuff, I meet freaking class 1A. And right now is a little bit of a riot. Well, not a little bit of a riot. It's Deku and, you know, Bakugo having this big stare down. Now remember, Deku's a little bit more confident. Deku's a lot more confident in himself. He's not only with One For All, but with me being his friend for a while, you know, he becomes a little bit more stronger in his, well, stronger as a human being. Now, after all that, I look at them and I'm like, man, it's going to, well, I gotta stop this right here. And pretty much I grab Deku and just pretty much pull his shirt. And he's thinking to himself, Izuku, you know, Ivan, what are you doing? I really want to fight him. And I say, no. Right now, are you really trying to get yourself expelled on the very first day? As much as he's a jerk, might I add, we have school. And this is when Bakugo just pretty much says, oh, what, you're having, how would I say this? What is an insult for? Ah, man. I really don't know what kind of an insult would be used. Oh, what, you're gonna get your bodyguard on you? I'm like, yeah, really, pretty much it sucks. He just insults me. And pretty much I'm thinking to myself, I want to kill him. And then after that, I don't turn into the Ghost Rider form. Not yet. I just shoot out some fire and just say, back off. Don't want to fight you. Bit of a dick. Right there. Curse him out right there. Give him a second right there. And after that, he says, what you say? I say, you dickhead. And all that good stuff. Like really, I don't know. I really don't know what I would say due to the fact that no one curses in the anime. Well, nobody curses all the time in the anime, so it's like cursing is a weird thing now. But anyway, insults go back and flying, and pretty much Aizawa is there, looking at all of us, and he says something along the lines of, 15, 14, 5 minutes, whatever the heck time, and you're still not on your seats? Unacceptable. And this is when I'm thinking to myself, who's the guy with the caterpillar that looks like a caterpillar? And this is when he says, I heard that. I say, oh shit. After that, pretty much Aizawa explains what's going to happen. And then I look around and it's like, alright, so there's a couple of people that, are there. Ochako comes out a little bit early. Well, no. Ochako, how would I say this? She's a little late for some reason, for some unknown reason. And when, Aizawa looks at her, he pretty much gives her the stink eye and just says, why don't you have a seat right now? I'm not in the best of moods. Her being a little scared, just, she sits down and all that stuff. Shit like that. But when that happens, pretty much I'm thinking to myself, oh boy. So, let's see. Yeah, there's nothing else to do besides, get a little, fear and terror. And, so Kaminari is just, commenting like that, like, wait, you're a little scared of him? Aren't you like that one mythical person, the Ghost Rider? I'm like, yeah, I'm the ghost, I am a Ghost Rider, but at the same time, I don't want to get expelled. After trying so hard to get in, do you really think I want to have the opportunity to get out? And then after that, he looks at that and says, yeah, you know what, fair point. And I'm like, thank you. But anyway, after a while, Aizawa just says, okay, we're going to have the quirk apprehension test. And then, someone comments and says, I thought we were going to be in the, what is it called? In that one thing, which I don't remember what is it called, to be honest. I really forgot, so sorry about all that. The quirk apprehension test. No, I already said that. They were supposed to go to the school, like, something, to, like, show everyone all, yeah, how are you all doing today? All this and this and this. And he's pretty much saying, no, we're not going there. It sucks. I want to teach you guys right now. You guys have to be strong heroes, and I'm going to beat it out of you. And then after that, I'm thinking to myself, well, this is going to be an interesting year. You know, after all these years, after every year that we have to, like, somewhat take a meeting, this is kind of refreshing. The other people are kind of like, this guy doesn't seem to know what he's doing. Izuku already possibly knows already who this guy is. Bakugo is, Bakugo's Bakugo. What am I supposed to say? Now, after all that happens, we do the quirk apprehension test. And guess what? I'm first. Why? Not only did I save a student, not only did I save a lot of students, not only did I destroy the 0-pointer, but I got a lot more hero points than rescue points, so I'm kind of like at least 20 points ahead of Izuku during that time, but at least 10 points, 10 points above Bakugo. So Izuku by technicality is he technically breaks even with Bakugo, or at least lower. So I freaking shoot out the black flames in one hand and shoot out the yellow flames on another hand. After that, I turn him to my rider form, and then after that, I just shoot it freaking high up into the sky. Now, the speed test. You guys are probably wondering, could I still succeed? But to be honest, all I just do is shoot out fire into the back of my hands. Kind of like doing the Naruto run and doing the Natsu run. And if you guys ever seen Fairy Tail, where Natsu was racing and he uses fire, something like that. Now, if you guys are wondering, am I always going to use the rider form? No, not that. I'm not always going to use it. That's a bit, absurd. But, after all that, we, how would I say this? Well, by technicality, I get first at least on 3. The jumping thing, that's not my thing. The grip strength thing is my thing. The side to side is Monetta's thing, not mine. By technicality, the throwing the ball thing, I'm higher than Bakugo's and a lot more higher than Deku's. But at the same time, Ochako wins. I'm not going to make myself OP here. Not yet. But anyway, after all that, they pretty much see, they pretty much see that, there's some good people, there's some good fighters here, there's some good students that are gonna, break the limits, and there's some that are probably gonna fail. They're all looking at Moneta. And speaking of which, when Moneta was looking at the thing, I have to, I have to grab him by his little head, and then I look straight into his eyes. And after that, they're all like, what is he going to do? And then they're like, wait a minute, is this the famous pennant stare? No, they don't say that. They just look at that, and my eyes turn into, half fire a little bit. And pretty much I say, calm down, go to horny jail. And after all that stuff, think about what you did. Because if my other self ever sees you doing something like that, he would have murdered you. And then Moneta says, got that. He understands that he's going to get screwed if that were to happen. And not only that, his quirk doesn't work on me. Not a lot of quirks work on me in my rider form. But, oh boy, guess what happens? There's 2 new students in the right before the Heroes versus Villains exam. Heroes versus Villains exam. Gotcha. So, during that time, there's 2 new students. One, his name is Paul, and the second one is named Razim. Now, these people have weird abilities, but you guys will see in the episode. Now, these 2 people in the beginning, when they were shown, or at least when they came to us and, like they were introduced, they were both looking at me with hateful glares. Well, not hateful, but they just had a sense of killing me. So yeah, you could pretty much say that they were using hateful stares. Now, after that, I look at these two and they look kind of familiar, but I don't know where they're from. Long story short, we go to the hero. We do our test thing, and Deku, Uraraka, Bakugo, and Ida. What happens is this: Deku is allowed to carry his weapon because his weapon is technically a part of his quirk. Or due to the fact that he's been training with it for so long, that's a part of his hero set. So he has himself a shield and a sword. And after all that, Bakugo's gotten a little stronger too. So it's off. So Deku just blitzes he just starts going as fast as he possibly can, running just normally and all that stuff. And pretty much after, seeing Bakugo, these two start fighting for a while. Deku is actually protecting himself with the shield and, swinging with the sword. Not only that, he's using using different combat styles, using his feet. Not only that, bashing Bakugo in the face. Not only that, the thing is, Deku is using his shield and his sword. I mean, Deku is using the shield and the sword. So, when that all happens, Deku is usually punching him or swinging his sword and his shield and all that stuff. But with the energy manipulation that he has already, he's technically making it to the point where his shield and his sword are stronger than Bakugo's explosions. Making it to the point where it's practically indestructible. And no matter how many times Bakugo shoots out his explosions, for some reason it doesn't work. So, Bakugo's having a lot more trouble than usual. Because the thing is, he has combat experience, but at the same time, Deku has a sword. So, by technicality, using the sword is, well, how should I say this? The sword is basically better than a fist, and not only that, that's energy is multiplied by one for all. So Deku, technically beats him. Now, after that happens, Bakugo is in the ground. He's bleeding a little bit because he got cut, and he technically got kind of stabbed a little bit in the side of his stomach. Other people are kind of like freaked out because they're like, wow, this kid is he looks kind at first, but right now he looks a little bit like killy, murderous thing. But Deku just knocked him out, and after that put some reps on him to heal himself. And after all that, he goes with Uraraka, because Uraraka technically caught up a while back and actually was there when he fought, how would I say this? She passed those two a while back. Give me a second here, people. Sorry about that. I had to do something here. Alright, so since you guys can hear me now, anyway, what happens is basically, Deku and Ochako win, and that was mostly because the Ochako technically was the distraction for Ida, so Ida lost because he wasn't paying too much attention to her. He was just thinking to himself, it's no biggie, it's just her. Well, what harm can this little Kirby do? which, if you guys don't understand, she kind of looks like a Kirby at times. Depending on what situation you're in. But anyway, after that, Bakugo was mad at himself. But then, a man named Razim basically looked at him and says, huh, this could be fixed. And basically, just, how would I say this? He just heals him and just says, mighty the, how would I say this? He just chants some words, like softly, because he didn't want anyone to hear. He just said this, this, and this, and pretty much Bakugo was already 100%. And this is when he walks away, and Bakugo's like, don't think just because you healed me, I'm indebted to you. And this is when Razim looks at him and says, I don't need your pity. You sad, sad fool. And then Bakugo gets extremely upset and says, wait, what did you say? And pretty much Razim just walks away. Now, we're still all in one group, so Razim is looking at me and practically glaring daggers at me. But it's no biggie. This has happened before, but with grown-ups. So I got that already. I'm a little bit more used to that. What I'm not used to is the fact that this man has these weird vibes on him. So, well, give it a while and stuff, and possibly something good might come out of it. But anyway, after that, there's, different people, such and such and such and such and such. Then we get to Razim and Paul. Now, they have weird abilities, but in due time, these abilities will be very useful in the story. Now, Razim and Paul, since they know each other, they go up with each other. They go up together. And then after all that happens, Todoroki and the Sugar Man comes. Whatever his name is. It's not, I don't really remember, but I think it was, how would I say this? Yeah, I don't really remember what the double arm's name was, but yeah, this time it's the Sugar Guy. Now, what happens is, well, in canon, pretty much Todoroki just tries to freeze them. Now, when I say try, I literally mean he tries to freeze them, because moments later, there should have been the bell just to be like, oh boy, and, how should I say this? The bell should have rung, or be like, okay, they were captured, heroes lost, or how would I say this? The heroes lost, no, the villains lost, the heroes win, but nothing happened. It was dead silent. And this is when Todoroki was like, what's happening? Why don't I hear the bell ringing? And basically, what had happened was, Razim used his fire barrier, which you guys probably are now going to know. All you hear the words from Razim and Paul's side was Hand of God, Fire Barrier. And basically, a barrier engulfed in flames just protects, well, Paul and Razim. Paul looks at him and says, well, aren't you using your abilities fast? And this is when he says, well, like they always say, there's no time like the present. So, a couple of minutes later, all you hear is Todoroki trying to get up there because, well, since how would I say this? Todoroki is going to fight, the two of them. The Sugar Guy is coming towards them as well. But this is when all you see is Razim in black, looking at them and saying, "Hey, you, the one with the yellow clothing, I'm going to need you to fight the other guy. I'll take him on by myself." And this is when pretty much he says, "I can't do that. What kind of a hero do you think I am just going to let that happen?" And this is when Shoto just looks at him and says, "Go on ahead. I don't need your help to fight this one." And this is when Razim looks at him and smiles, saying, "Oh, is that so? Well, just remember, these were your words, not mine." And this is when, basically, Paul, hears this and he says, "Wait a minute, but those were technically your words." And he says, yes, but he's saying it as if he doesn't need help. He's a Shoto, as far as I know from the records. So, I'm going to actually be glad I'm fighting him. It's been a while since I fought someone who has, well, different abilities altogether. And basically, he and Paul have already checked up on everybody's powers. Even All For One. Even one for... no, technically he doesn't know what All Might's power is. Give me a moment here. So, the battle starts. Well, yeah, pretty much begins. So Todoroki, like I said, is going to use his ice at first. But then, all you hear is, "Hand of God. 2nd Division 8. And pretty much what that is just basically a bunch of somewhat people around him, surrounding him, looking like undead soldiers, but with white clothing, and just shooting out a beam. And pretty much there was a song about that once. You know what? Shout out to Dio for helping me out with that, or Diomedes Rouge. But anyway, after all that, pretty much it breaks all the ice, and he says, "Hand of God, light swords," and just shoots out a sword, just shoots out swords out of his hands, and Shoto cannot retaliate in any of this because he's too busy dodging. After all, there's so many of those blades coming towards at him that are just made out of holy light that it's kind of hard to just do what he has to do. And then when he stops, Shoto starts breathing hard, but then all you hear is, "Hand of God, heavy gauntlets," and you just see freaking Razim coming out of the smoke, just smashing freaking Shoto in the face. And after that, he punches him in the stomach and kicks him in the freaking legs. After that, just beating on him. Now, while there's a beating going on, the Sugar Man, Sugar Rush, basically comes towards and, sees three unusual people, three people. Paul, and two wolf girls. Now, as much as I know, shout out to Last of Us 21 for being a part of this whole little story right here as well. He says, "You've came. Well, how should I say this? I don't have anything, to give you besides, an excruciating and, embarrassing fight. But hey, you just know this. You're going to do at least something, right? So either you give up, or option B, you're going to have a beating as well. So do you choose option A or B?" And then Sugar Rush basically just starts eating sugar, and after all that happens, he pretty much just bulks himself up and starts charging at him. And then he's like, "Option B it is." And basically he says, "Girls, Do what you do best. And then after that, all you see is just two fox people, or two wolf girls, just running at him, and just pretty much fighting the Sugar Rush guy. He's actually, you know, defending himself pretty good, and landing a couple of good hits. But after all that happens, pretty much all you see is Paul just kick him straight into the stomach. And after that, one of the girls punches him straight into the face. Sorry about that. And after that, the other one pretty much just, well, he hits him straight into the arm, causing him to grab his arm for a while. And then he's like, well, as much as I liked what you were doing right now, I suppose it's time for me to do what I do best. And after that, girls, come to me. And pretty much they said, yes, master. And then all you just see is just them coming straight towards Paul. And after that, he says, well, pretty much he does an incantation. And then it summons, well, all you see is smoke. And then give me a second here. He basically, sorry about that. He basically summons a golem, which took two of them, since his ability is called Familiar, it's not a quirk technically, and that's what you guys are gonna think. He has the ability to turn to have two familiars that can turn into anything that he chooses. But depending on how strong it is and how powerful it is, he's going to have to somewhat either sacrifice both to have only one. And in this case, yes, the golem just starts punching and just tearing freaking, well, the building a little bit. And then all Todoroki hears is like, what the heck is that? And this is when Razine just says, well, how should I say this? Your buddy's not doing too well. By the sound and by what I'm hearing, that sounds like a golem. And he says, a what? Oh, you're too slow. And then basically uppercuts him straight across the freaking chin. And he just keeps beating him and beating him and beating him and beating him. Todoroki's trying not to give up, but he pretty much just... Well, it's a beating with iron gauntlets with a guy who's not going to care unless he gives up. So... yeah, pretty much, well, Todoroki lost, and Razine says, sorry about that, knocks him out, and then heals him up, running to the other part, and after that, seeing that, basically, the only thing that's happened is the fact that the Sugar Man pretty much did a little bit of damage to one of the arms, and that was pretty much it. And this is when the guy is tired, very, very tired. How should I say this? Well, Paul's like, wow, you did a lot of damage to this thing. It's been a while since I've seen, like, how should I say this? It's been a while since I've seen a golem actually having a broken arm or something like that. Well, it destroys everything, so yeah, of course it'll probably break either way. But you did well. And then after that, all you see is Razine grabbing him next by the head and says, Hand of God, sleep. And basically, well, how should I say this? The Sugar Man lost, and pretty much lost conscious. And after that, he basically, well, how should I say this? Since you guys know, Razine has a power called Hand of God, where 10 of his fingers, each finger is a wish that he has. And depending on how much he can rest up, he can regenerate them through a little bit of time. But it's basically every day he gets the reset button. So, yeah. A while later, basically, all you hear... Well, technically, the whole fire barrier, and after that... Second Division 8. Let's see, Light Swords, Hand of God. Let's see. Iron Gauntlets, after that, Sleep. He's already used up 5. So, yeah. Now, he also has a power called Clairvoyance. Well, the Eyes of God, which is basically clairvoyance, but at a better like precision and accuracy. But it basically kind of blinds him for a while, probably for like at least a good 10 minutes. Razim's Paul's ability is the fact that he's pretty much mastered transforming his familiars and summoning demons and stuff, or angels. But at the same time, he has to somewhat master what he summons. So that's a problem for him. Not only that, Paul's a bit of a pervert. At times when his, familiars try to say, "Oh, look at that. Paul, do you want to have fun with us?" "Yes, please." Razim says, "Go to horny jail." And pretty much that happens. While that's going on, everyone is shocked. Even I'm shocked. The fact that someone has those kinds of abilities. The black clothing, the word Hand of God, Eyes of God, summoning demons and angels. I'm wondering to myself, these two are not your average human beings. I can tell you that much. I can tell you that much myself. These two are very shifty. So, what happens after that? It's my turn. And let's see, who do I face off against? Oh boy, that's a tough one. Let's say I face off against Dark Shadow, Shoji, and my partner is... who is my partner for this one? That's a tough one, to be honest. Give me a second here. Okay. So, my partner is possibly going to be Jiro. Yeah, Jiro. So, that's pretty much it. So, give me a moment here. Okay, so we start walking we start just walking, and we're talking to each other. Basically, we're both talking to each other about Razim and Paul, saying that it's kind of weird, And pretty much I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I don't think it's weird at all. No, not with me being the Ghost Rider and all that stuff, and possibly 2 people of God just want to kill me for the sake of killing me, because since I might be a devil to them, well, there's actually a bigger story that plays out in all this. A big story, which Diomedes Rouge, shout out to him, he's actually helped me out with a story. So you know what? Thank him as well. Now, what happens? Basically, I start walking towards, the people, or I start walking towards, and all I see is, how should I say this? Sorry about that. Yawning and all that stuff. All I see is this man with a bird for a shadow of a bird, or dark shadowy bird, whatever kind of bird this is. And then all I see is Shoji, or basically Dupla arms. And then, after a while, I'm like, alright, so we get to find them. And I start using my flames. Now, like I said, I have 2 different flames on me, besides the Ghost Rider one. The first one, basically, I can heal I can't heal myself by technicality. I can heal other people with my golden flames. With my black flames, they're used for different types of methods, like damage or basically teleportation. Or my golden flames are the same thing for damage, but when I want to heal them, I basically just have to think it. And that's pretty much it. Not only that, I have myself a sword, just in case for these situations, and I engulf them in golden black flames. And I say, alright, you two, we can't just let you 2 villains, run amok everywhere. we had to fight you. So, best bet right now is to give up. And they're like, no. I'm like, well, talking to them wouldn't help. And then this is when Jiro kind of chimes in and says, that wasn't really much talking, that was just giving them a direct order. Yeah. Okay, you're kind of right on that. Well, I guess we have no choice then, we gotta fight them. And basically I just shoot out flames, golden flames, all around the room, leaving it to the point where they can't actually pass us, but we can go towards them. And they're in a situation where if they touch the flames without my permission, they get burned, or at least it hurts them. So, I start just walking and walking and walking, but this is when Dark Shadow tries to use, you know, his power, but the thing is, he really can't. You see, with Dark Shadow being, with him not using with his Dark Shadow, my flames are golden, which means they're very bright and very hot. So, give me a second here. I need some H2. Ha-ho! Whew! Ah, man, nothing actually beats a hard day's work with cold water. But anyway, so, Shoji just takes the initiative, and I turn off my flames because I really don't want to hurt them. I really don't, to be honest. This was just a scare tactic, which didn't work out. So basically, he just starts trying to punch me, and I grab my sword and smack him with it. But he's blocking it with his freaking arms, so I just have to keep punching him and punching him and punching him. While that's happening, Jiro is trying to get out of the way, but, you know, with Dark Shadow being there, not that big. That's helping, you know. It's not helping at all. So, sorry about that. With that being all said, basically, we're at a little, you know, stalemate. And I start heating up my hands. And black flames on one side and golden flames on the light. I actually bring them together, and I blow them out of my sight. To be honest, this was just a random chant that I decided to use. But basically, the flames were just not hot enough, but actually used more force to push them away very hard. So, we start running towards them. And I start shooting my black flames everywhere. To the point where it's not actually hot, it's just lukewarm. And they're all like, wait, why is he just so... I thought this was supposed to burn us. And this is when I teleport, I'm right behind, basically Shoji, or Shinji, and basically bash him on the head. And after that, him grabbing his head, I pretty much punch him in the freaking side. And after that, I grab his freaking body, and basically do a German suplex. Oh, the beauty of it all. After that, Dark Shadow actually gets a little bit more bigger due to the fact that I actually use the dark flames, which actually kind of technically absorbs light at the same time. So yeah. Now, while doing all this, pretty much he gets bigger, so I actually just shoot out golden flames everywhere in the room. And it's blinding freaking, what's his face? Oh boy, sheesh. I actually forgot his name right now. Takana, to be honest. Dark Shadow. I basically take him out. Well, technically with Jiro's help, because she just uses it to amplify with her boots, causing a big noise cancellation. So she can basically... Tokoyami. Basically, Tokoyami is actually, you know, paralyzed a little bit. So I grab him and just freaking choke him. I choke the crap out of him with smile and glee. Deep down inside him, I'm at times when I feel like I'm fighting somebody, I feel a little sadistic, so, don't judge me on this. This is not my... I was born like this. So anyway, with all that being said, Tokoyami all that Tokoyami does is pretty much just basically is there for a while, not doing nothing, to be honest. And at that time, yeah, pretty much. How should I say this? Fudge. I forgot what I was gonna say. I know. Basically, we technically captured them. She actually has the tape, so basically all we just had to do was, like, tie them up. So yeah, by technicality, we just won like that. We didn't get the bomb or anything. It's like, what's the point? I'm not going to show off about that. We're normal high school students, to be honest. I was really just going to go in my Ghost Rider form and just obliterate everybody. But I know that wouldn't be too fun. So I decided to play it casual. Now, what happens is, basically, we got first. We didn't get first place, but you know, we were one of the people who won. So they congratulated us. The losers had to, you know, study a little bit more. Momo does somewhat kind of criticize us because we, if these were real hot flames, and I explained to her, it's like, Momo, come on now, look here, sweetheart. These are not hot flames. And basically, I douse her in freaking fire, which kind of freaks out everybody. Whereas even Paul are about to kill me. But then after that, she's like, wait a minute. This isn't hot at all. This is lukewarm. And this is when freaking Todoroki was just thinking to himself, is he related to me? By some accounts? Fire manipulation at that degree, he must be a Todoroki. The hair doesn't match up, but still, something must be, you know, must have gone on a while. Oh, if you guys don't know, my looks has changed. I'm basically someone with blue hair and dark skin. Not only that, I'm a little bit on the heavier side, but not just fat, not just like pure fat. I'm just like, I have muscle, but I got a bit of a gut, so I gotta, you know, I gotta work on myself a little bit, you know. I gotta hit the gym. Gotta do a little bit of the cardios. But anyway, after all that, basically she admits that, you know, she was wrong. Although she kind of criticized Paul, because Paul was the whole fact of the matter. Paul technically destroyed a little bit of the building. Well, technically, the familiars did. The familiars were like, hey, it's not our fault. We did our job. You should be happy and grateful that you have the honor of telling us anything at all. So after all that, pretty much nothing happens. I do get injured due to the fact that my head is bleeding a little bit. And this is when pretty much they're all like, hey, Razim, you can heal people, right? Why don't you heal your fellow students or your fellow classmates? Razim has like this irk face, like, and basically both of us are like, we don't like it. Like, I'm thinking to myself, I don't like it either. You guys are not normal people. Not only that, you guys are using the hands of God, which I already for some reason have this gut feeling that they're trying to kill me. So, being healed by the person who wants to kill me is kind of funny, but at the same time, I'm not comfortable with it either. So we basically grit our teeth and just, you know, Razim says, you know, anything for a fellow student, for a fellow classmate, and I'm like, same. And then he gets a little bit close to my ear and says, we know who you actually are. And they don't actually mean they know who I actually am by they know what I was in the past. No, they think that I'm actually a demon. An actual demon. And they're going to expose me. But by technicality, since I'm the Ghost Rider, they don't really, the world really doesn't care, to be honest. But the people who like the legends and all that stuff, like a handful of them, let's say 2% of the population still worships the Ghost Rider and likes him and all that stuff. But Paul and freaking Razim don't. So, what happens is, how would I say this? Well, after all that stuff, and I say, thank you, fellow classmate. And he says, you're welcome, fellow classmate. And basically, I fall down because something tripped me. And this is when he secretly used the hand of God to make something trip me, or stop my foot from moving a second. And basically, I fell down the floor, and he said, "Oh, my bad." I was like, "Oh, how did that happen?" It must have been the wind or something like that kind of crap. Oh, there must have been water on the floor. Oh, how dare I ever say that? And after that, I'm like, it's alright. A few seconds later, you just hear him fall down, you hear him trip. He's like, oh, look at that. I must have used my fire. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. Can you ever find it in your heart to forgive me? Racine is like having... Oh, boy, he is very upset with me. He wants to murder me, but he can't. So he grits his teeth and says, it's alright, we all make mistakes. And then after that, basically in his mind, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. He's the devil. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. His quirk is kind of nice, though, but I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. Give me a moment here, people. I gotta drink some H2O. That's better. Now, anyway. So after all that, after long days of work, basically, I go walking home, and I actually see, basically, Reiko. Now, I say, hey, Ray. And she pretty much looks at me and says, oh, hi. I say, how you doing? He says, I'm doing well. And this is when I say, great. We actually did the Heroes versus... We actually were doing the exams with, basically people. And I actually won. Well, I didn't win, but, I didn't lose. I didn't fail. I passed. He's like, well, that's nice. That's nice. Some of the people from Class 2B don't like Class 1A. And I'm like, wait a minute, why? Well, they think that you're a bunch of stuck-up, ungrateful people who think just because they're in Class 1A, they're the best of the best. I'm like, wait, who thinks that? It's like, well, they actually don't know who thinks that. They're just saying that some of you guys might think that you're a bit better than them. And it's like, that is true. That is very true. But at the same time, we got there because we actually won. It's no offense to you. I bet your quirk is very awesome. And I think it's very awesome as well. But at the same time, you lost because at that time you were weak. So, the more you get stronger, the more you can actually possibly, get to be in the Class 1A. All you just have to do is train yourself. Like I did. And then I basically just shoot out my little flames, and I just, control them going around the place. And pretty much, she's kind of laughing and says, well, that's nice to hear. But I have to go. I'll talk to you later. I'm like, but, and she leaves. Not even getting to say the full complete word. Not even a speck of that word was going to her ears. She just leaves immediately. But she has a poltergeist quirk, so at the same time, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that big of an issue. Let's see, after all that happens, yeah, all I just say is, well, that's nice. And all I just do is whistle. And then my baby is here. Oh, technically, you guys never actually told me what you wanted. So, by technicality, I actually just ride a bull. Yeah, I get to ride a freaking bull. That charges very fast. Or, no, you know what? A bison. And basically, I ride with my bison all the way home. Now, While this is happening, there's basically a call coming from Razim and Paul, and then they talk with this one person. It says, "Did you get to meet the rider?" Hold on here for a minute. Okay, so he says, "Did you get to speak with the rider?" And this is when Paul says, "Yes. I unfortunately had to heal him due to the fact that I didn't want to cause suspicion." Well, that's a shame, and as much as I would understand that you would have killed them, you must know we are at a very short, we only have 2 years to do this plan. And if we don't, the world as we know it might end. So I hopefully you guys, in the name of the Lord, have, hurry up. And this is when you hear Razim saying, "Yes, sir." Good. Now, I'm going to end it off here. I will talk to you all later. God bless. God bless. Paul says, was that him? And he says, "Yes, that was him. He wants us to kill him as soon as possible. But we have to do it without other people knowing it." Now, how Razim and freaking Paul came there? Well, they pretty much were transfers and actually had a license to kill any kind of demon and all that stuff. And in the thing, there will be more things like more jokes with Razim and Paul, because right now it's just a serious stuff. They're kind of like, if you ever seen High School DxD and seen Zenobia and freaking, I forgot the other one's name, but it's kind of like that kind of thing. So right now I'm going to end it off here. Now, anyway, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout with a Fear. Bye.